Welcome to Who Taught Ya, a platform where we discuss a plethora of things. And today we're going to discuss how I fired my CPA and gained powerful new tax tools. But before I begin, I just want to thank you again for always supporting me. And go ahead and like and subscribe and share this. Be a blessing to someone who may need this. So, it's tax time again, and we have to get all of our documents together so that we can file our taxes. And, some people who work for an organization may need to get their W-2. If you have your business, you need to get all your documents so that you can file your taxes. If you have any health insurance forms that you have to fill out, go ahead and get that together and gather all the documents. If you own houses, you need to get your tax documents. You need to from either your mortgage company or from the actual county that you that assesses your taxes. And you may need a plethora of other documents that your CPA, or if you're filing for yourself, you may need. So there are many websites that you could file your taxes on. And if you do not have a personal CPA, there are many companies that charge a fee, and there's also companies that are free. So let me get into my story of how I fired my CPA. So my CPA, I've known for over maybe 2 decades. We have become very good friends that I even invited him and his lovely wife to my wedding. They have imparted such wisdom to me, not only about taxes, but also relationship advice, how to be better individuals. They have shared so much good information, and I really respect them. And it wasn't really a firing. It was more that I kind of outgrew them and we parted ways. And, they have been such a help, not only, as I said, in my finances, they were so good, but I just felt like I was growing and I was changing. And I felt like what services they offered was not fitting what I desired. So when I started realizing that I was changing quite a bit and the services that they offered really didn't suit me, was many years ago. So I had a friend who family member passed away sadly, and they inherited a large sum of money. So they told me, their spouse told me how they went to a family office. And if you don't know what a family office is, it's like a private wealth management firm. And because they had quite a bit of inheritance, so they really wanted somebody to really look after it. And this private wealth management firm, what they usually do is they do investment management, tax planning, estate planning, concierge services, family education, and financial planning. And, entertainers like Oprah Winfrey. I read an article which talked about that Oprah Winfrey, or these people with millions of dollars, they may hire a family office, a wealth management firm to help them with their finances. So my friend told me about this, and at the time, me and my spouse, we were looking for a financial planner, investment management. And we started interviewing different people. So I said, why don't you give me the name of the person who manages your wealth? So they directed me over to this family office. And out of everybody that I interviewed, can I tell you that the person that I spoke to there, her name was Roberta. And I won't say her last name. She's no longer with that family office. Apparently, she has retired. Right? So she's taking her wealth and she is being wealthy and healthy. Okay. So she was so kind to sit down with me and my husband, and we spoke over the phone, and she shared so much information. She shared more information than all the other investment planners were able to provide me. And this was just free information off the ref. She was even talking about tax planning. She poured so much into us. But she did say to both of us that what her firm deals with is large amount of money, and that our income and our savings and our wealth, they wouldn't take us on because you had to have like certain minimum, you know what I'm saying? And at that time, our wealth hadn't grown to that amount, that threshold, right? But I really valued her. And so when I was looking for someone to manage my investments, I like kind of stacked them against her a bit, you know? And I ended up finding somebody, actually 2 or 3 people, and they were free because I like free 99. So they helped me, and they gave me advice about my finances, about my investments, about, my wealth building. And, it worked out great. Anyway, that opened up my eyes because some of the things that she shared was about taxes. And I realized that my CPA that I had, that I was paying a nominal fee, that they were not providing those services. And so I asked, is there anything new? And my CPA, he did a great job. When I say he did a great job, he even did my mama's taxes, and he gave where my mom didn't even have to pay because she was a senior. So he was very good. And I have referred him to many of friends. So, he's gotten a couple of clients from my referral because he is good, and he does a great job. His firm does a great job. So when I asked him, most of the time what he would recommend is for me to buy another property, because I used to have multiple properties. I no longer have multiple. I only have a singular. But he was telling me, oh, that's, like a tax advantage shelter. But as I said, Roberta had opened up my eyes to so much that I felt like I needed more. I needed more. You need to give me more than this. So I was like, it piqued my interest where I wanted to learn more about taxes. So last year, was it last year? The year before, I decided, I'm going to take a part-time job working for TurboTax. So I worked as a contractor through another contractor, and I was helping people as far as finding the forms for TurboTax. And it gave me a lot of insight because I had to learn a little bit about taxes, not a lot, but I also had to learn about the forms. And one thing I did learn is that, how when you file real early, some of the forms on TurboTax are not available, or they're waiting for the IRS to provide these forms. So it kind of taught me like, okay, if you're going to branch out on your own, and if you use that platform, then you need to wait a little bit. Don't try to file right away. And I also had to help people, like, people bought TurboTax like through Costco, through different avenues online. So, it gave me a little bit of tools. Now, let me go back. When I met Roberta, that was years, like maybe 4 or 5 years had passed, because I wasn't ready because of the relationship that I had with my CPA, that it was not only a professional relationship, but also a personal relationship. I wasn't ready to move on from that relationship. And I was a bit scared and apprehensive. I could admit that, right? So I wanted to gather as much information as I can. And I also wasn't confident in the knowledge that I had, right? So I waited a bit, and then I did the little job with TurboTax, and I really liked it. So I did the job with TurboTax, and I really liked it. I enjoyed it. I ended up leaving that contract because I work a lot, so I was tired, and I felt like I got what I needed from it, and that was it. And then I don't know what happened. You know how sometimes you want certain things and the universe just sends it to you, or your creator sends it to you. So then the Money-nista, she came across my social media page, and I decided I wanted to listen to her. And that was the first term Trump was in office, and they had seen his taxes, and they're like, he hardly pays any taxes. And she, on her training classes, she was like, well, I pay less taxes than Trump. And that like really surprised me. And I listened to her, and she offered like some free classes, and then of course you could subscribe and purchase whatever products that she had available. I didn't choose to purchase it, but it kind of gave me more confidence in saying, well, I need to move on from my CPA. And she gave such great advice, like stuff that I didn't know. So I was just like gathering information everywhere I went. And again, I still wasn't ready to leave my CPA. So that's when I started seeing more stuff, because the algorithm, once you start looking at tax stuff, it starts sending you more stuff about taxes. So I started seeing on social media, TikTok, Instagram, stuff about taxes. But I don't go by just what social media tells me. I fact checked it. So I went ahead and fact checked stuff, and I was like, wait a minute. I could be writing off more stuff than what he's writing off for me. So, it just kind of opened my eyes a little bit more. So I decided last year that I was going to do my own taxes. Now, just to give you a little backstory, when I was younger, I did my taxes myself. Where you had to do it on paper, I did it myself, and I was successful. Then I went to a company called H&R Block, and I had a bad experience where the person who assisted me with filing my taxes, he kind of messed it up. And I gave him all the information, and I ended up having to pay, but then I got it back, and it was like too much. And I decided I don't want to do H&R Block anymore. And I've had other CPAs, and they have done great work, all of them. But I had confidence, and I said, I'm going to do my taxes last year, right? And let me back up a little bit. Before that happened, I decided, after the Money-nista, I decided to Google how I could learn more about taxes. What I didn't know is that the IRS has a link and learn. It's where you could get a certificate where you can help people like elderly, help them, or you could volunteer to do people taxes. So they have a basic and they have an advanced. And I decided I was going to take the advanced because I do have a business, and the advanced talks more about, business taxes, capital gains. It talks child credit. Both of them talk about, Social Security, like if you get Social Security. And soon I'll be at the age that I'll need that. So I wanted to learn more about that. It talked about individual filing, personal exemptions, everything under the sun. It teaches you about. So I said, why not learn from the IRS? So I took that class, and I just started learning at my own pace. So when I went to Florida, I ran into my mother's friend, and she was saying, I'm getting all my paperwork together to take it to my CPA. So I was like, are they writing off this? Are they writing off that? Because she does Uber. So I was like, are they writing off this? Are they writing off any repairs to your vehicle? Because I know you had repairs to your vehicle. And she was like, no. And what I realized is most CPAs, they have a lot of clients. And probably to get through all of that, they're doing, I would say, maybe the bare minimum, or maybe a little bit more than the bare minimum, but they're not asking filler questions to get more information, to see what other options there are for you so that you could get more of your money back, So they take an intake form because they usually have to. There's an intake form that you fill out, but your world is bigger than just that intake form, right? So it's also up to you to share information with the person who's doing your taxes, the CPA or somebody who's taking classes and is certified, whatever, to do taxes in your state. You have to bring the knowledge, the information to them, so that then they can apply that information to see how much they can write off in certain areas for you, right? But I feel like too, they need to also ask some filler questions to you. Like, oh, did you have a business this year? Do you have mileage? Do you have, anything like that? I feel like they need to ask you those questions. Now, to be fair, my CPA did write that off because as I said, I have a business. My husband has a business. My child has a business. It's so they do ask these questions, some of these questions, but I just wasn't feeling like I was getting everything that I wanted out of it. And another thing, like I didn't mind paying the cost. The last time I paid, it was like 300 and something. It was closer to the 4, but with that, my mom also got her taxes done, and I didn't, as I said, he did it for free. But then when I look where some of these other sites, you could do your taxes for free, or say if you choose something like a TurboTax, maybe your job offers a discount, your church offers a discount, somebody offers a discount that you could get a discount. And I felt like I could pay less and get that same one-on-one service, or I could pay less and do it myself now that I have the knowledge. So last year was the first time in a long time that I did my taxes myself. So what I'm saying to you is seek out the knowledge, right? You may say, I got too much on my plate, I don't want to do my taxes myself, but seek out the knowledge. And when you sit in front of your CPA or you speak to them online, you need to tell them, share whatever business things or personal things, or ask questions so that they can get the most, you could get the most when you're filing your taxes, right? And the taxes changes every year. So as I said, I go to Link and Learn. I find out each year what's the new changes that are upon us, and I do that myself. So as I said, you don't have to be like a rocket scientist to do your taxes. You can do your taxes on your own. But if you feel more confident, definitely enroll a CPA or somebody knowledgeable to do your taxes. And there are also free resources out there, so look for them. And don't always go by what's on social media, because TikTok or any other social media could be sharing not accurate information. So you need to do your due diligence, and you need to do your research. Like I even told my hairdresser, I told her, she has a dog. Her dog is on TikTok. I said, did you know you could write off the food for your dog? You could write off any medical stuff. The dog gets its hair done, because the dog generates money for her. So, things like that, you just wouldn't know off the bat. And she was like, oh, I need to ask my tax preparer about this. And I said, yes, because I looked it up and I researched it. So don't just go by what I say, research it on your own. And I also want to tell you again, go ahead, like, subscribe, and share. And also, if you need any help with your budget this year or getting your finances together, go ahead to Amazon and get my book, Who Taught You About Money, by Paula Robertson Scott. And it's only $9.99. So go ahead and lock it in and get it. And now, if you need any more assistance with taxes, your local IRS can assist you with that. And I am going to go now. And all I'm going to say is bye.